Welcome to the Becoming a Pilot podcast, where we share first-hand experiences, practical advice, and insights from pilots at every stage of their journey. I'm your host, Dave Angus, and whether you're just starting out or working towards your next rating, we're here to help you navigate the path to becoming a pilot. So buckle up, stay tuned, and let's talk all things aviation.
This podcast is brought to you by Genesis Flight College, Canada's premier flight center. With an advanced fleet of Diamond aircraft and experienced instructors, Genesis Flight College provides top-tier training in the heart of southern Georgian Bay. Ready to start your journey to becoming a pilot? Inquire today.
Welcome to the Becoming a Pilot podcast. My name is Dave, and today we have Tyler with us, Class 3 flight instructor here at Genesis. So, Tyler, tell us a little bit about you.
So I started at Genesis in January of 2024. So I've been doing this instructing gig for about 15 months, and so far it's been great. Yeah, I really enjoy it, and I like teaching students how to fly. It's really rewarding.
Right.
And yeah, it's something I never thought I'd be a part of until I kind of asked the question what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So
right.
And Genesis felt like a good option for me in order to build time, in order to get to the next step in my aviation career.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you find teaching a student, for sure, it makes sense that it's rewarding. What do you find is the most rewarding? Would it be like sending a pilot on the first solo when they get their license?
Yeah.
So that's that license to learn, we call it. Or what would you find to be the most rewarding part as an instructor?
Well, I guess the beginning steps of teaching somebody is like the little moments of breakthrough where it clicks. They learn the flare. They learn how to land the plane. And then, the first solo is a big achievement. And it's just like going through the steps of becoming a licensed pilot that I see really rewarding. And I see the joy that they have in flying. So that passion and for aviation is something that I really enjoy. So from beginning steps to getting their first license, their PPL.
Right.
I find that really, really rewarding, and successful flight tests are good. So
Sure. Good for everybody. Good for everybody.
Yeah. So.
100% right. Those aha moments are pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Especially when a student's been struggling on something, let's say landings. That seems to be a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
And then when they finally get it, it's pretty cool. You're 100% right.
Yeah.
So you came to Genesis. What was kind of your background? What led you to this? Did you get into it right after high school?
Yeah.
Is it a second career for you?
So for me, out of high school, before graduating high school, family ties to construction, so carpentry. I did that for a number of years, really enjoyed it, and I was quite good at it. So naturally, I wanted to pursue that. For me, it was kind of a decision where I was in the middle of thinking long-term about where carpentry would take me, and starting a business was one of the options. But long-term, I just thought about the wear and tear.
Sure, on your body, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know any retired carpenters that are not crippled or struggling physically. But I thought about my career and basically sat back and did like a deep dive into what would I do if money wasn't a factor.
Right.
If I could do anything and it didn't matter about money, then what would it be? And like something that would provide me with like a lot of happiness and joy. And I was in the backyard one day and I just looked up and happened to see a plane flying by, and then I thought, that would be really cool. I think aviation is something that really intrigues me. So then I went to Edenville and got my first flight in an ultralight.
Oh, cool.
Intro flight and or discovery flight, as they call it. And I thought like that whole experience was kind of like an aha moment where I was like, okay, I could see myself doing this.
Right.
So I transitioned from carpentry To a number of different jobs, but carpentry to, I was a deckhand for a while.
Okay.
On shipping freighters in Lower Lakes. And then I went out west, worked in the oil field for a bit, and then decided that, all right, I'm really going to give this a shot. Like, I think now is the time. I have a little bit of a cushion. I have some money saved up.
Right.
And I knew that I wanted to be all in. I didn't want to be 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Right.
But being that aviation is quite expensive, I still had to do, carpentry on the side to support myself throughout the training process. So, but yeah, that's ultimately the deciding factor for me was I wanted to do something that that I would be proud of, and something that I could see myself doing that didn't feel like work.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what? I've seen all those different things, like being a deckhand and carpentry and all of that. And there's a common thing between all of them. It seems like they're all 3 random careers or 4 random careers. But it seems like a lot of problem solving, attention to detail, right? Working in group environments, right? And that all ties right into aviation, right? Yeah. So as far-fetched as they seem, they actually are very similar in a lot of ways. So what do you feel that those jobs gave you as an advantage coming in as a more mature student?
Life experience and skills. Sure. Being laborious and hands-on, it's a transition from physical labor aspect to now just strictly teaching with. Like, teaching students requires a lot of mental skill and capacity, right? It's training in a different way. Whereas a laborious job, I can work a 12-hour day and be a little tired, but doing a 12-hour shift, like teaching somebody how to fly, is a whole different ballgame. It's like super. It takes a lot out of you.
Right. Yeah. No, it does. It does.
Yeah. So those skills transferred from my previous career. Problem solving was a big one. Teamwork. Yeah. Teamwork is a big one, and just learning fundamentals of aviation is one that's I don't know how directly correlated it would be, but yeah.
No, that's all that stuff is really, really cool, and personally, like I said, I feel it does all link together. So you got into aviation, so it was a little bit later. Mind if I ask how old you were when you got into it?
So 2016 was when I got into it, so roughly 23, 24.
So still pretty young, and lots of time, a full career ahead of you. But yeah, it's common for people to have that change of career. So that's good, and I don't blame you for the physical labor side of it. It is tough on the body. It's a lot of fun, but
it is.
So you got into it when you were 23. Did you come to Genesis right away? Did you go down a different avenue first? You said you went to an ultralight school first, and then transitioned.
Just that was the intro flight. That kind of. The bug kind of that bit me, and so then I looked through going the college route. So I applied to a number of different schools, got accepted to a few, ultimately decided to go to the SU. And I did that program for a year, and then it didn't work out. So then I had to kind of take a step back and figure out what my options were. And then I looked at different flight schools doing it privately. And Genesis came up, and so I called them, and they were fully booked, didn't have any openings for another, I think, 6 to 8 months. And for me, I just really wanted to get the ball rolling, and continue within the aviation training. And then I had mentioned to them when I called that I had previous experience flying, so I think that they took into consideration, and then they called me back the next day and said, come in for an intro flight, and we'll see if we can make this work. We have an instructor with some availability in his schedule. So I came in and I talked to Maxwell, and I teamed
Shout
up.
out Maxwell on that one.
So him and I teamed up, and he was my instructor, and then I pursued it through Genesis.
Awesome. And you did, so you would have done your private.
Yeah.
What all the licenses did you get through Genesis?
All of them. So I got my private license, my PPL, my commercial license, my instrument rating, my Group 1, and my instructor rating.
And for anyone who doesn't know what a Group 1 is, that's your multi-engine IFR. So between the States and in Canada, we have some differences in between how our licenses are named, but they're essentially the same thing, right?
Yeah.
And then when you talk about your flight instructor, we don't do a CFII here or a CFI. It's you do your instructor rating and you have a
Class 3.
and you have your instrument rating, and so then you can teach the two of them, right?
Yep.
And then we go up to classes, right? So, so you start as Class 4, and then Class 3, right?
Yeah.
And then 2 and 1. So awesome. So you got all your license through Genesis. How long did it take for you to get a job and start working?
Right away.
Right away. Awesome.
Yeah. I finished my CPL. To the instructor. It took me, I did full time with that, so it took me 2.5 months roughly. And I got a job the next day once I was completed.
Incredible.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
No waiting?
Nope.
Perfect.
And bit of an in there.
And that would have been, sorry, you said it was January?
Yeah.
January.
Yeah.
And that would have been when the cadets were starting around here, right?
Exactly.
So how have you found that, how have you found teaching the cadets and that whole program?
Yeah, so that was a bit of a curveball for sure, because they have such a structured syllabus,
right?
And like all instructors go through the same training in terms of all the lessons in the PPL syllabus, and so theirs are a little more structured in terms of like certain things that they kind of intertwined with each lesson. They have they have like a lot of emergencies, a lot of different procedures that are kind of layered in, and you want to touch on as many of them as possible throughout the lesson. And I found it actually really really rewarding teaching them, because you, as a new instructor, you don't have a lot of experience to fall back on. But you do have your aviation training, which is pretty much similar. I mean, it's all the same, really. But I found with the cadets, teaching them, I really fine-tuned and honed in my skills quickly because I had free reign over their schedule. So it was a very consistent basis that I was teaching them. And with the cadets, we start off with the PGI, the preparatory ground instruction, and then we jump right into the sim, and then we get into the plane. So on bad flying days, like a cadet versus a modular, I would be able to pull them into the sim, and we would always have something to work on. So I was continuously working on those skills of teaching as an instructor and trying to get students kind of learning very early on. So
it was nice for you, because you came in and had a full schedule, right, which is incredible, right? A lot of places it's unheard of. And you came in, you had a full schedule, and what I like about teaching the cadets, and when that whole syllabus came in, is the structure of it, right? So it makes your job that much easier when you don't even have to worry about, did I remember everything? Did I make sure I hit everything from the flight test guide? It's right there. It's good for you.
Almost too much, though.
It's good. It's good for you. It's good for them. Yeah, it's a lot of information. It's a huge undertaking for them. But we've been able to supplement that and make it a little bit easier using the simulator. And have you found that? Have you found that between your modular students and your cadet students that has helped a lot, or?
Big time.
Yeah.
Teaching them early before they even touch the plane helps a lot. So in the sim, you learn the basics of the lesson, and then in the plane, they already have an idea of what they're doing. So it's really helpful that way. Right.
Now, for anybody that was looking at, I asked this to everybody, anybody who's looking to get into flying, what would you recommend would be the best first step?
Go to a local flying club, go to any college or flight school and get a discovery flight. And then decide whether it's for you, figure it out financially, and figure out your timeline. I would say for anybody that's getting into aviation, as much as it seems really cool, you got to question whether that's what you want to do and pursue as a career. Because if it is, I would say that full time is the best option. So you want to have full dedication and consistency in aviation, because a lot of the times students will come in and they'll start their training and then something will take them away from it, whether it's work, personal life, whatever. And that step back from aviation and not being in the plane for like a consistency basis requires them to relearn or to they regress a little bit, and then when they get back into it, then they have to get caught back up. So it takes that much longer. It requires an allocation of more funds. And I think that if you are interested in aviation, it has to be all in and just get it done.
Yeah, helps a lot.
Yeah.
Helps a lot. Okay, so I'm going to throw another curveball at you here. Okay, I'm a student now. Okay, I'm struggling with my landings. Okay, I'm always landing left of center. I can't keep. I feel I'm going to run off the runway, and I'm landing pretty flat. What would the best word of advice you'd give to me to help work on that?
Okay, so I would say that you have to be focused on a couple of things at once, and that's using ailerons and rudder. So as well as your aim point coming in. So on approach, if your airspeed's good, trimmed off, then you don't have to really worry about that too much anymore. And then depending on the winds that day, let's say it's a calm day, it should be relatively easy to figure out center line, longitudinally align yourself, use the rudder, and into the round out and flare, staring at the numbers, the threshold. Once you're coming down, transition your view to the end of the field, and then ease back into that round out, hold it there. And then the flare, most people think, want to land the plane. We don't want to land the plane yet. We want to get to a lowest airspeed as possible. So holding it off as long as possible. And then just listen to the instructor's cues. Like if you're easy to implement any guidance from the instructor quickly, that'll help you a lot more. So once you notice something going off, like if you're going off center line, quickly correct it and not let it go too long. And I like to say to my students, micro adjustments. So little fine tunes back and forth, and then little adjustments on the rudder into that round out and flare. So
I like what you're saying. Look down the runway. I remember as a student, my instructor would say, "Oh, look down the runway," and my eyes would always be just on the second line and the third line, following that down. No, I need to see that. Oh yeah. I couldn't. I'm doing that, and I couldn't do it. Right. So when we say look down the runway, it's literally look down the runway, right? We're lucky here. We got a tree line at either side, right? Look at the top of the trees, or pick something in the horizon, right? And it's incredible how big of a difference that is once you can do that, right? It's the same thing when we talk about like steep turns, right? I always struggled with them, but I always kept my eyes inside, right? I was always looking at the instruments. I was like, this is telling me way more than what outside is telling me. And as soon as that switched, and I got that reference on the horizon of where it was intercepting the windscreen, my steep turns were
much
great.
Better. Yeah,
they're perfect. But as a new student, it's very difficult to kick those habits, and even though the instructor may know more, we always think we know better. So those are all really great points. So now looking down the runway and trying to hold the airplane off, that's great. Try not to land, right?
Right. You're saying, right? I mean, you're essentially stalling the aircraft on the runway,
right?
But it's controlled, and so the longer you can hold it off, the smoother the touchdown will be.
Awesome.
So,
and to finish off, one wise words of wisdom. What's the deepest wisdom you can give to a new pilot coming into this?
Like I alluded to earlier, I think consistency and determination are huge. They're paramount, and always lean on the aviation community, because people are always eager to help and answer any questions you have. If you feel stuck in a certain stage of aviation training, it's not uncommon that people feel like they second guess their decision.
Right.
Like I know a lot of pilots that struggle with the instrument rating.
Right.
So getting the Group 1 seems like a huge undertaking. So I would say, just continue, just keep going, just push through it consistently, and don't second guess yourself.
Yeah.
You got into this for a reason, so you have to see it all the way through to the end.
Right.
if you want it bad enough, it's possible. So just continue to pursue it.
And I always just say, like, learn something every day, right?
Yeah.
It's a great career where we'll always learn something every day until the end of your career.
Yeah.
And then you'll probably learn more afterwards about what you did wrong.
Exactly.
So as long as you're learning something every day, you're making progress in the right direction. And it does get easier. It does get easier.
It does, for sure. Yeah. It seems like a huge, like I said, a huge undertaking because I didn't have a past background in aviation. None of my family came from aviation, so everything was new to me, and it's super overwhelming at times. So I would say for a lot of new pilots, when you crack that book open and you see all these words that you've never heard before, and it's just like take it in and review and a little bite-sized, like you said, just learn something new every day and continue to improve and expand your knowledge in aviation. And there's tons of good videos online, YouTube.
It's incredible now.
So many good channels to follow.
It's awesome. Well, Tyler, thanks so much, buddy. Thanks for coming out, taking time out of your busy schedule, and joining us.
You too.
And hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yeah.